Imagine the scene. August 9th, 2023. It's just hit 7:00 a.m. in a quiet village near Mansoura, Dakalia. Dead quiet, usually.
Until it wasn't. Suddenly, this young woman, Esraa, she's running, frantic, clutching her little boy, Mostafa. He's only 4.
She bursts right into the local government hospital ER, desperate, needs help now.
Inside, it's immediate action. The medical team jumps on it, trying to revive the child. Full protocols.
But it takes only seconds, they realize. The child is cold. Unconscious, yes, but clinically gone. He was already deceased when she arrived.
Right, and that's the moment everything shifts. This desperate rush for medical help, it instantly becomes a potential crime scene.
Because while they're going through the motions, the doctors see something. Clear marks on Mostafa's neck.
Yeah, unmistakable signs. This wasn't natural. It screamed foul play, what the authorities there call a shub jinaya, a formal criminal suspicion. Strangulation.
So incredibly, the medical team has to switch gears. They quietly tip off hospital security.
But to Esraa, they tell her to wait outside. They say they're still working on him, trying to keep things calm, contained.
Which brings up a huge question right away, doesn't it?
It really does. Why the frantic run to the hospital? Why this desperate performance of trying to save him if he was already gone? And if she was involved.
It suggests this massive internal conflict, maybe, like an immediate, overwhelming need to undo something terrible.
Exactly. A break between the act and the immediate aftermath. So security arrives. They find Esraa outside.
How is she acting?
Visibly anxious,
Yeah.
terrified, stressed, asking about her son. And her grief, I mean, by all accounts, it looked completely genuine, overwhelmingly convincing maternal sorrow.
She goes up to the officers, introduces herself. Esraa, Mostafa's mother.
And she gives her story. Says she went to wake Mostafa around 6 a.m. for breakfast, found him unresponsive. That's when she rushed him over.
She kept saying he was her dream, the child she'd always wanted. Heartbreaking stuff.
Absolutely. But then comes the forensic reality check.
The official examination.
Right. The body goes for analysis. And the report is clear. Cause of death. Alkank. Strangulation.
And the timeline.
That's the crucial part. The report says death occurred only 1 to 2 hours before she arrived at the hospital.
So between 5 a.m. and 6:00 a.m.?
Exactly. Which directly contradicts her story of finding him unresponsive at 6 a.m. and then rushing over. It means the act itself happened right before she claimed she discovered him.
So the police are looking at her. They see the intense grief, which seems real.
But they also noted something else. They called it Nazra Gariba. Strange looks. Something in her eyes just didn't sit right with them.
A flicker of something else.
Yeah, like she knew more, or maybe was involved. They sensed that internal contradiction. The crime was fresh. Her denial was fresh. It just didn't add up.
Okay, so the immediate evidence points towards her despite her behavior. Let's rewind. We need the context. What led to this point?
We have to go back to 2019. Esraa marries Hefnawy. It started as a love match, apparently.
But he wasn't well off financially.
No, he wasn't. And Esraa accepted that. But there was a condition. They had to live in the Beit El Ila, the family house.
Ah, the extended family home. Common arrangement, but often complicated.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
The plan was to stay there temporarily, save up, get their own place. Initially, during the engagement, the in-laws treated her well.
But that didn't last.
Not at all. About 1.5 years into the marriage, things started to deteriorate fast.
How so?
It began with small arguments, typical friction maybe, but it escalated. Insults, constant criticism. Esraa complained to Hefnawy, but he either dismissed it or couldn't fix it.
Stuck between his wife and his family.
A classic trap in that kind of living situation. Boundaries get blurred, privacy disappears, and the conflict got worse. It moved beyond words.
You mean physical?
Yes. The source mentions wasl limad alid. It reached the point of physical abuse. Plus, relentless defamation, character attacks from the in-laws.
And where was Hefnawy during all this?
Well, things got even tougher. Esraa got pregnant. To try and improve their finances for the baby, Hefnawy took a job opportunity abroad, Saudi Arabia.
So he left her there, in that environment.
Exactly. He thought he was doing the right thing, securing their future, but it left Esraa completely vulnerable to the abuse.
Did she tell him how bad it was?
No. And this is key. She deliberately hid the severity of it all. The physical stuff, the insults. She didn't want to burden him while he was working so hard for them overseas. Didn't want to distract him.
So she suffered in silence.
Until she couldn't take it anymore. The situation became unbearable. She took the baby, Mostafa, and moved back to her parents' house. Just to get some distance, reduce the daily conflict.
Did she cut off the in-laws completely?
No, actually. Even after moving out, she still allowed them to see Mostafa. She tried to maintain some kind of connection despite everything she'd been through.
But the conflict didn't just stop because she moved out, did it?
Not a chance. It followed her. While she was staying with her parents, she started noticing looks from the neighbors. Not just glances, but really odd, judgmental stares.
Something had shifted.
Definitely. She eventually asked a neighbor she trusted, "What's going on? Why is everyone looking at me like that?"
And what did the neighbor say?
This was the final blow. The neighbor told her that her mother-in-law had been spreading vicious rumors around the village. Really vile stuff.
About Esraa?
About Esraa, yes. Claiming she was having affairs while Hefnawy was away. But it got worse. The mother-in-law wasn't just targeting Esraa. She included Ezra's sister in the rumors, too.
Her sister? Wow.
Yeah, her closest confidant. And that, for Esraa, was the absolute breaking point. She had put up with abuse against herself, physical and verbal. But attacking her sister's reputation, that was unforgivable.
So what did you do?
She picked up the phone, called Hefnawy in Saudi Arabia, demanded he come home immediately. She told him straight, "It's over. I want a divorce. I can't take one more second of this."
How did Hefnawy react?
He came back just 3 days later, on August 6th. He still hoped they could work things out, reconcile somehow.
But Esraa wasn't backing down.
No. Her reputation, her sister's reputation, it was non-negotiable. The damage was done. They talked, and they reached an agreement. The divorce would be finalized on August 9th.
August 9th, the same day.
The exact same day.
Wow.
Which brings us right back to that morning. Esraa returns home. The divorce is set to happen.
Then what does she do?
Before anything else, she performs the istikhara prayer. The prayer asking for divine guidance on a major decision. It shows how torn she still was, even then, about ending the marriage, breaking up the family.
She finishes the prayer, sits there.
And that's when it hits her. This sudden, crushing thought. 4 years. She'd wasted 4 years of her life in this toxic mess. Sacrificed everything. Her peace, her name, her marriage. Gone.
The cumulative weight of it all.
All of it. The abuse, the slander, feeling abandoned, the years of stress. It just overloaded her system. Seems like she experienced a complete mental collapse. A psychological break.
Dissociate.
It sounds like it. The loving mother who adored her son was momentarily gone. Replaced by something else. Fueled by years of unbearable pressure. In that state, that terrible moment,
She went to Mostafa's room.
grabbed a pillow and suffocated him.
Oh my God.
The act itself seems almost instantaneous with the break. And then, just as quickly,
She snaps back.
it seems so. The source describes it like she woke up to the absolute horror of what she'd just done. The mother returned.
And her first instinct.
Grab the child, run, get help. Try to undo the irreversible, that desperate flight to the hospital we started with, knowing probably deep down it was too late.
So back at the hospital, confronted with the forensic evidence, the timeline.
And her own history of conflict, the pending divorce.
Yeah.
Eventually, she broke
Again,
completely.
She confessed.
Yes, she confessed to the murder. But even then, she reportedly kept saying she couldn't believe she'd done it.
Yeah.
Like she didn't understand how it could have happened.
The confession leads to a trial. And the initial sentence.
Execution,
But
the maximum penalty.
it didn't end there. There was an appeal.
Right. And during the appeal, the judge, looking at the case, he felt something was off. He reviewed all the evidence, the history, and got this strong sense that, quote, something is not normal here. Fihaga mishtabiaya.
He sensed the psychological distress, the remorse.
Exactly. It didn't feel like a cold, premeditated act. So the judge asked to speak with Esraa directly.
What happened then?
She stood before him, apparently very distraught, but honest. She kept repeating that Mostafa was everything to her, the most precious thing. And crucially, she reiterated that she truly didn't know why she did it, implying she wasn't in her right mind.
And the judge believed her, or at least believed the circumstances were extraordinary.
It seems so. That testimony, combined with all the documented abuse, the defamation, the extreme pressure, it convinced the court. The judge changed the sentence.
From execution to what?
Life imprisonment. Alsino Mabad. Acknowledging the complexity of the emotional triggers, maybe a sense of diminished capacity at that moment.
But wait, you mentioned the in-laws. What was their side of the story in all this?
Ah, yes. That's where things get really contradictory. The in-laws. They never showed up to any court sessions, not one.
And their version of events.
Completely different. They insisted their relationship with Esraa was fine, mostly good even. They claimed she wildly exaggerated the level of conflict.
So they denied the abuse.
Or pretty much denied everything significant. And they threw in a counterclaim that Esraa was the difficult one, that she was vengeful and deliberately stopped them from seeing Mostafa after she moved back to her parents.
Which contradicts her claim that she did allow access.
Exactly. So you have these two starkly opposing narratives: Ezra's story of years of escalating abuse leading to a mental break, and the in-law story of a normal relationship and an exaggerating, difficult daughter-in-law.
How does the court reconcile that?
It's tough. They clearly lean towards Ezra's account, given the sentence reduction, but that core contradiction.
Hmm.
How does a mother who genuinely loved her child commit such an act? It hangs over the case.
What happened with Hefnawy, the husband?
The tragedy continued for him, too. He divorced Esraa while she was in prison. Reportedly told her he could have accepted anything the divorce, losing her, or not the murder of their son. Understandable, really.
So when you pull back, what does this case tell us?
It's a devastating picture of how systemic issues within a family structure, specifically the pressures of the be it Elila in this case, can fester. The lack of boundaries, the tolerated abuse, the inability to escape. It created this pressure cooker.
A pressure cooker that finally exploded at the most tragic consequences.
Precisely. 4 years of conflict, silence, and unresolved trauma built up until it broke someone. And an innocent child paid the price.
So this deep dive, it really highlights the environment, doesn't it? Not just the final act, but everything that led up to it. The slow burn of psychological violence.
Yeah, the systemic abuse, the cultural acceptance perhaps of a certain level of interference and conflict, until it reaches a catastrophic point.
Esraa received a life sentence, not execution. But the source suggests her real punishment is internal, living with the memory forever.
Which leaves us with a really difficult question, doesn't it?
It does. When a crime like this emerges from years of documented systemic abuse and profound emotional exhaustion, leading to a likely psychological break, where does true justice lie? Can the legal system fully account for that kind of trajectory? Or is the responsibility also societal for allowing such environments to exist?
That's a heavy thought to end on. Can justice truly be served when the root causes are so deep and complex, and the internal punishment is potentially lifelong anyway?
Something for all of us to think about.